The Great Wall of Benin was a powerful symbol of the Benin Kingdom's strength and wealth. Built over 800 years ago, it was one of the longest walls in the world, stretching for over 10,000 kilometers. The wall was made of earth and wood, with watchtowers and gates at regular intervals. The Benin Kingdom was a thriving empire, with a rich culture and history. The kingdom was ruled by King Ovonramwen, a fair but strict ruler. He was a just king, loved by his people, and he worked hard to maintain the kingdom's prosperity. The kingdom was rich in ivory, palm oil, and other valuable resources. The people of Benin were skilled craftsmen, known for their beautiful wood carvings, intricate bronze work, and colorful textiles. But the British were interested in these resources too. They wanted to control the trade and take the wealth for themselves. The British had already established trade relationships with other kingdoms in the region, and they saw the Benin Kingdom as a key prize. In 1897, a British diplomat named James Phillips led an expedition to the Benin Kingdom. He wanted to convince King Ovonramwen to allow British traders into the kingdom. Phillips was a smooth-talking man, with a charming smile and a persuasive manner. When Phillips arrived at the kingdom, he was greeted by the king's advisors. They were wary of the British, and they told Phillips that the king was not interested in meeting with him. But Phillips was not deterred. He sent a message to the king, asking to meet with him. The king, curious about the British diplomat, agreed to meet with him. The meeting between King Ovonramwen and James Phillips was tense. The king was polite but firm, telling Phillips that he was not interested in allowing British traders into the kingdom. Phillips, on the other hand, was pushy and aggressive, trying to persuade the king to change his mind. The meeting ended in stalemate, with neither side willing to give in. Phillips left the kingdom, but he vowed to return. The king, sensing that the British were not to be trusted, began to prepare his kingdom for war. Over the next few weeks, the king's soldiers worked tirelessly to strengthen the kingdom's defenses. They built new watchtowers, repaired the walls, and stockpiled food and supplies. But despite their preparations, the kingdom's soldiers were no match for the British. The British had modern guns, cannons, and other advanced weaponry. The kingdom's soldiers, on the other hand, were armed with spears, bows, and arrows. On February 18, 1897, British soldiers invaded the Benin Kingdom. They were well armed and well trained, and they quickly overpowered the kingdom's soldiers. The king's advisors were killed, and the king himself was forced to flee. The British destroyed much of the kingdom, including the Great Wall. They took many of the kingdom's valuable artifacts and treasures, including the famous Benin Bronzes. The Benin Bronzes were a collection of intricate bronze plaques that decorated the walls of the king's palace. They were beautiful works of art, depicting scenes of everyday life in the kingdom. The British took the bronzes back to England, where they were put on display in museums. King Ovonramwen was forced to surrender. He was exiled from his kingdom and the British took control. The kingdom was absorbed into the British Empire, and the people of Benin were forced to adopt British customs and laws. The fall of the Great Wall of Benin marked the end of the Benin Kingdom's independence. It was a sad day for the people of Benin, who had lost their freedom and their way of life. But even today, the legacy of the Benin Kingdom lives on. The wall may be gone, but its memory remains a source of pride for the people of Benin. The Benin Bronzes, now scattered in museums around the world, remain a testament to the kingdom's rich cultural heritage. In recent years, there have been calls for the Benin Bronzes to be returned to Nigeria, where they can be displayed in museums and appreciated by the people of Benin. It is a campaign that is gaining momentum, and one that may eventually lead to the bronzes being returned to their rightful home.